Day 5-6 years that we've done Mastery University. At Life Mastery in Hawaii, every single person gets blood tested in the beginning. They're interviewed about their level of energy and so forth, but everyone has a blood test, and they get to see their red blood cells. That's what's carrying the oxygen to you. And most people eat so many fatty foods, they breathe so poorly, their system is so clogged that they get to see their own cells, the red blood cells sticking together. And when they stick together, you can imagine, they move more slowly through the bloodstream. So you get less oxygen. Less oxygen, guess what? You got less energy. The whole body weakens. Sometimes people become ill. And you know what they do? They do 9 days of what I'm telling you. They do this breathing 3 times a day, and then we test them again at the end of 9 days. And not only have they lost weight, and do they feel tremendous amounts of energy, but then we show them their blood. And there in front of them is the evidence of why it's changed. Because their whole body changes. All of a sudden, these red blood cells aren't sticking together. All of a sudden, they're getting more oxygen into their first, as always. Here's the second key principle of living health. It's the power of eating water-rich foods. What do I mean by that? Let's you and I use some common sense for a second. 70% of this planet is covered with what? Water. 80% of your body is made up of what? Answer is water. What do you think a large percentage of your diet should probably contain? You guessed it, water. You need to make certain that at least 70% of your diet is made up of foods that are rich in water. That means fresh fruits or vegetables or their juices that are hopefully freshly squeezed. Now, some people I know recommend that, water's great. You want to cleanse your system. So drink 8 or 10 or 12 glasses of water a day to flush out the system. This can often backfire. In the first place, most of the water that people go around drinking isn't exactly nurturing. Chances are, if you're drinking tap water, that it contains chlorine, fluoride, minerals, and other toxic substances. Drinking distilled water is often a good idea, but no matter what kind of water you're going to drink, you can't cleanse your system by drowning it. The amount of water you should drink, it should be dictated by your thirst. Instead of trying to flush your system by flooding it with tap water, all you have to do is eat foods that are naturally rich in water, what we call water content foods. There are only 3 kinds on the planet: fruits, vegetables, and sprouts. These will usually provide you with an abundance of water, that life-giving, cleansing substance you can't live without. Listen, when people live on a diet that's low in water content foods, you can virtually guarantee that they're going to have some challenges with their health. I'll give you an example. Dr. Alexander Bryce, MD, stated in his book, The Laws of Life and Health, quote, "When too little fluid is supplied, the blood maintains a higher specific gravity, and the poisonous waste products of tissue or cell change are only cast off very imperfectly. The body is therefore poisoned by its own excretions, and it's not too much to say that the chief reason of this is because a sufficient amount of fluid has not been supplied to carry off in solution the waste matter that cells manufacture." What the heck does this mean? It means every single day, as we're here talking, cells are dying. They're being destroyed right now, and new cells are being created simultaneously. As I snap my fingers, 7 billion liver cells die that fast. But the good news is 7 billion healthy new ones are created as well. The waste from the old ones must be eliminated, not to mention the waste that we build by the way we eat. Most of us eat where we have such excess in our body has a hard time staying up with it. Unless you've got enough water to carry off that waste matter, it begins to accumulate in your circulatory system, and it causes you to have less oxygen and to literally poison yourself. Your diet should be consistently assisting your body with the process of cleansing rather than burdening it with indigestible foodstuffs. The buildup of waste products within the body promotes disease. One way to keep your bloodstream and body as free as possible from waste and toxic poisons is to limit the ingestion of those foods or non-foods that strain the limited organs of the body. The other way to deal with it is to provide enough water so the system can assist in diluting and eliminating these wastes. Let me read you some more from Dr. Bryce here. Quote, "There is no fluid known to chemists which can dissolve as many solid substances as water, which is indeed the best solvent in existence. If, therefore, sufficient quantities of it are supplied, the whole process of nutrition is stimulated because the paralyzing effect of toxic waste products is removed by their solution and subsequent excretion by the kidneys, skin, bowels, or lungs. If, on the contrary, these toxic materials are allowed to accumulate in the body, all sorts of diseases will arise." Unquote. So let me ask you a question. Why is heart disease our biggest killer? Why do we hear about people keeling over and dropping dead on a tennis court at the age of 40? One reason may be that they've spent a lifetime clogging their system. Remember, the quality of your life is dependent upon the quality of the life of your cells. If your bloodstream is filled with waste products, the resulting environment does not promote a strong, vibrant, healthy cell life, nor a biochemistry capable of creating a balanced emotional life for you as an individual. Let me give you one more example of a study, and then we'll wrap this up. Dr. Alexis Carrel, who was a Nobel Prize winner in 1912 and later on became a member of the Rockefeller Institute, set out to prove this theory that the quality of our life is the quality of life of our cells, that if we kept the fluids around our cells cleansed, that our cells could literally live forever. And he proved this by taking the tissue from live chickens. Now, by the way, these chickens would normally live about 11 years. And he found he could keep their cells alive indefinitely simply by keeping the cells free of their own waste and by supplying them with the nutrients and oxygen that they needed. These cells were kept alive for over 34 years. At the end of that time, the cells didn't die. The Rockefeller Institute finally decided, hey, we can keep these things alive forever, and so they decided to end the experiment. Alexis was probably getting old himself by that point. The point is this. Let me ask you a question. What percentage of your diet is made up of water-rich foods? Let's you and I do a little research on your diet and what it may be doing to you. Do yourself a favor. Grab your success journal right now. And what I want you to do is the following. I want you to take the next 2 to 3 minutes, stop this tape, and I want you to write down every single thing that has passed your lips in the last 24 hours. All foods, anything you have drunk, anything that's passed your lips, I want you to write down what you've taken in and the amounts. Take 2.5 to 3 minutes, stop the tape right now, come back after you fill this out. Please stop it and do it right now. You're going to find this very enlightening. Don't let this tape continue. Stop the tape now. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. I got a question for you. Take a look at your list, and I want you to circle all the things on your list that are primarily water-rich or water content foods, okay? Now, what that means is anything that is a fruit or a vegetable or their juices or sprouts. Anything else doesn't count. Milk does not count because in your system it is very thick. It is not something that flows. Water would count, yes. No, a beer does not count because it carries with it other things as well, okay? Circle only the things that have their natural water still in them. They're not completely cooked out. Go ahead and circle them. Okay, so now let me ask you a question. What percentage of your diet is made up of water-rich foods? Is it 80%? 70%? 50%? 25%? Or 15 or less? When I ask this in my seminars, I usually find that most people are eating about 15 to 20% of water content foods. And that's definitely higher than many of the people in the population as a whole. Now let me just tell you something, and if you don't remember anything else I said, remember this. 15% water content is called suicide. I got to tell you something. If somewhere in the range of 70 to 80% of the food you eat are not water content or water rich, then what you're doing is every single day clogging your system. I mean, think about it. 15% is suicide. And by the way, if you think I'm being melodramatic, if you don't believe me, just check out the statistics from cancer and heart disease and review what kinds of foods the National Academy of Sciences recommends you avoid and the amount of water content available in the foods they tell you to avoid versus the ones they tell you to eat. There's some clues there for you. Use your common sense. Listen, if you look to nature and you see the biggest and the most powerful animals, you're going to discover they're herbivores. The gorilla, the elephant, the rhinoceros, and so on all eat only water-rich foods. Herbivores live longer than carnivores, by the way. A building can only be as strong and as elegant as its parts. If you want to be alive, eat live foods. Doesn't that make sense? Listen, if you're wondering, well, how can I make sure that 70% of my diet consists of water content? That seems pretty difficult. It's actually simple. Just be certain from now on that you have a salad with every meal that you eat. Make fruit your snack instead of reaching for a candy bar. You'll feel the difference immediately in your body. It'll run more efficiently, and you'll have more energy than you ever dreamed of. Those are 2 of the living health principles. Try them for the next 10 days. Get yourself to follow through. Breathe in the ratio of inhale 1, hold 4, exhale 2.
10 times, 3 times during the day. 2, try for the next 10 days to make sure your diet is 70% water content or more. Make sure you have a salad with everything. Make fruit a major focus of what you eat. And watch what happens to your level of energy. It will blow your mind. You deserve physical wealth. What I mean by that is the power that comes from feeling vibrantly healthy and energetic. Just try it for 10 days. You'll be surprised what happens. It doesn't take a lot of discipline. It's not asking you too much just to breathe. You're going to do it anyway. Why not do it well? The bottom line is if you'll do it for these 10 days, you'll create a new results ritual, one that could affect the quality of your life even more so than anything else you learn in this entire tape program. And I think that's saying a lot, but I also think it's being accurate.
So make sure you apply what I've shared with you here. And also, as part of Personal Power 2, we have this special interview tape. And one of the people I put on there is someone who can help you tremendously from the mental side of affecting your health. Because we all got to remember, not only do we got to breathe effectively, eat well, etc., but we've also got to make sure we keep our mindset, because what you think about, the state you put yourself in, create a biochemical change in your body. A lot of people make themselves sick mentally. And the best person to help you to manage that area, I think, is Dr. Deepak Chopra. So I've actually included him here in Personal Power 2 on that interview tape. So be sure to listen to that part of the interview. I think you'll find it invaluable. And if you have an interest to expand your knowledge in this area, again, sign up for Power Talks so that every month I can keep sharing with you, but also you'll hear from some amazing people that are part of it. I had the last live interview with Norman Cousins right before he died. And boy, what a genius he is. I also interviewed Dr. Bernie Siegel. So if you're interested in that, there'll be more information on other Power Talks. And if you want to learn my whole program, you can come to Unleash the Power Within. Again, it's available locally in your city probably or nearby in a United Artists Theater, or come to Mastery for goodness sake, and we'll blood test you and we'll show you how to transform your body by working out with you every day and getting you in the momentum of change. But whatever you do right now, don't leave this day without beginning this process. Take my 10-day challenge, and you'll see that you'll begin to transform not only physically, but emotionally, because with energy comes the ability to take on new tasks, new goals, a new thinking process, a new set of emotions as well.
And also remember this, that for every disciplined effort you take in life, there's a multiple reward. Discipline yourself in this way and reward yourself in every way. Enjoy your health. Until tomorrow, live with passion.